example of pollination. Before that, I will explain you the parts of flower. Flower is the main reproductive part in the plant, and this part is known as sepals. This is mainly used, it protects the flower from outer region, attracting the all pollinating agents like honeybees, insects like bees, butterflies, and this is known as pistil. Upper part is known as stigma, and this tube-like structure is known as style, and this is ovary, and these rods-like structures are known as ovules. And this is male reproductive part, and this upper part is known as anther, and this is filament. This is male reproductive part, and this is female reproductive part. You can see that male reproductive part contains the pollen grains. Here, this is male reproductive part, this is anther, and this one is filament, and this part is known as stigma, and this is style, and this one is ovary, and inside the ovary small egg-like structures known as ovules are present. These are ovules, and this is ovary, this is style and stigma. And based on the reproductive parts of a flower, flowers are divided into two types. One is bisexual flower, another one is unisexual. What do you mean by unisexual flower? Unisexual flower means the flower which contains either pistil or stamen is known as unisexual flowers. For example, you can see pumpkin, papaya, etc. And what do you mean by bisexual flowers? Bisexual flower means the flowers which contains both pistil and stamen are known as bisexual flowers. For example, rose, hibiscus, etc. And pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma, means from male reproductive part to the female reproductive part. And pistil is the female gamete, and the male gamete is stamen. And there are mainly two types in pollination. One is self-pollination, and another one is cross-pollination. What do you mean by self-pollination? Self-pollination means the pollination which occurs between the flowers of the same plant or within the same flower. You can see from here the pollen grains are present. This is male gamete and this is female gamete. If the pollination occurs between from here to here, this is known as self-pollination. Otherwise, if pollination occurs from the same plant, it is known as self-pollination. And cross-pollination occurs between two different flowers of a different plants. It must be a same species. The pollen grains are transferred from anther to the stigma of two different parts. This is known as cross-pollination, and this pollination occurs with the help of pollinating agents. It may be biotic or abiotic. Abiotic means the organisms which are not living. Such things are known as abiotic, and biotic means the which are living organisms are called biotic. The water, that time the pollen grains are very small particles, they are negligible. You can see they are like dust particles, easily they can move. So when we pour water, they can move from. And biotic means like living organism, bees, butterflies, birds, etc. And now fertilization, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma. It may be self-pollination or cross-pollination. The pollen grains after the reaching the pollen grains to this part is known as stigma. They will reach there. After that, they will absorb moisture from the stigma. That pollen grain starts to, it forms a pollen tube. Through that, there are mainly two male gametes in pollen tube, and they will start to move through that pollen tube to the ovary to reach the ovals through the pollen tube, and finally they will reach there. There are mainly two types in fertilization. We can say that double fertilization. First fertilization, the male gamete. There are mainly in pollen grain two male gametes are there. First male gamete fuses with the one egg cell to form a zygote, and other male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei. You can see the nuclei. It will fuse with to form an endosperm. Then what do you mean by endosperm? Endosperm means after the fertilization, that endosperm provides nutrition to this ovary. So this is about our double fertilization. And what will happen after fertilization?
spiders, when the insects visit the flower, as they will move from one flower to another flower, it will get transferred. The pollen grains are accidentally attached to their bodies. When the insects will move from one flower to another, they are transformed from one flower to other. And I will show the female reproductive part. And this is called as pistil, and this is the female reproductive part. This consists of stigma, style and ovary. The stigma catches the pollen, and the main function of this style is to connect the stigma to the ovary. And this ovary contains small ovules. Inside this ovary there are small ovaries. The main function of this ovary is to produce the ovules. The ovules means eggs. And now I will explain about the types of flowers based on the reproductive organs. There are two types of flowers, unisexual flower and bisexual flower. The flower which contains only stamen or only pistil, that is called as unisexual flower. The flower which contains both stamen and the pistil, they are called as bisexual flower. The example for the unisexual are cucumber, corn, papaya, etc. And the example for the bisexual flowers are hibiscus and the rose. Now I will explain about the reproductive parts of a flower. This stamen and this pistil are the reproductive parts of a flower. This is the male reproductive part and this is the female reproductive part. This male reproductive part consists of the anther and the filament, and this female reproductive part consists of stigma, style, ovary and ovule. The stigma catches the pollen grains and the style connects the stigma and ovule, and this ovary produces the ovules. The anther receives the pollen and the filaments holds the
Transfer of pollen from the male reproductive part of the flower. Here the anther is the male reproductive part and the stigma is the pollen grain. And types of pollination. There are two types of pollination. First is self-pollination. Pollen is transformed from and called as self-pollination, and transferred from the anther of one plant to the stigma of the another plant is called as cross-pollination. There are so many types of agents of pollination. There are two types of agents of pollination: abiotic pollinators and biotic pollinators. Abiotic pollinators means which are not living from one plant to another plant. Biotic means living things which can help us to transfer pollen from one flower to another flower. Abiotic examples being egg, etc. Bee, butterfly, insects, bird, etc.
The fertilization is also taking place in the hibiscus. The fertilization takes place from the male gametes sperm. The pollen is formed. Where the fertilization is formed, the fertilization takes place inside the ovary. Here the ovary is present. Here the fertilization will take place. This is known as the ovules. These spores is known as the ovules. The fertilization is also taking place by the male gamete and the female gamete. The male gamete and from the pollen tubes, the male gamete is going to the stigma and enters the there the fertilization takes place and that forms the zygote. After the formation of zygote, that divides into the embryo inside the seed. After the division of the